So why am I writing a book on religion? I wish I could tell you that God had appeared to me and commanded that I reveal unto the peoples of the earth all of his mysteries, and that I was the Antichrist. Now that's a cash cow waiting to happen. But the Antichrist wouldn't write a book. He'd have a reality show and all sorts of digital downloads, and he'd leave mind-altering messages on cell phones. Yet I noticed as I began to write that there has lately been a glut of books about religion. Atheists and true believers, critics of all stripes and defenders of the faith, they have destroyed hundreds of thousands of trees with their knowledge, research, opinions, and beliefs. This is so typical of my life. I decide to write a book on religion, and as soon as I sign the contract, the shelves overflow with new books on the subject from every imaginable point of view. And so, yet again, is my belief in God undermined. What bullshit! I could see if I wrote a book on Iraq. We can't seem to get enough of those. It's like Chinese food. You can read all you want on the subject, but within minutes of finishing a book, you are hungry for more. I guess the flood of these theology books makes sense, with the excesses of violence committed in the name of God wherever you look, and the obscene power of religion and politics in our homes and in our lives. Or maybe it's just the growing sense that the world might end at any moment, which seems to hang in the air around us, like a late afternoon thunder shower. I guess this has sent the keyboards a twittering. Then, of course, there's the constant flow of books in which authors talk about their conversions. So what am I, Lewis Black, stand-up comic and me of little faith, putting my 2 cents in about religion? Because I think it's taken too seriously. And anything that takes itself too seriously is open to ridicule. What am I thinking? When you write about people's beliefs, you're asking for it. Every page here has the potential to offend someone somewhere in perpetuity throughout the universe. That doesn't even count the critics who will say it wasn't funny enough, or serious enough, or spiritual enough. Religion? Funny? You gotta be kidding. I am kidding, but it's not going to be seen that way by everyone, which is exactly why you've got to keep poking fun at it. After millennia of religion being used as a club, either to scare the shit out of children or to send them to war, someone's got to search for organized religion's funny bone. To put it as simply as I can, this is a book about my relationship with religion, where my, dare I say it, spiritual journey has taken me. From the religious dead ends I have wandered down to the pinpricks of light I have seen and barely understood. It's all here, in all its complicated and infuriating glory. And all of this is just my opinion, the way I look at religion, what it's meant and not meant to me, and why it makes me laugh. So if religion has taken over your life and you don't want to think about it or laugh about it because it will upset you, don't fucking listen to this! Ever. And ever. Amen. In the beginning. As I slowly reached consciousness, everything was a mystery waiting to be solved. Unfortunately for me, I wasn't much of a problem solver. Who was this giant shoving a bottle in my mouth? Who was this other giant who wasn't around all the time, but when he did show up, would poke me? What were all these shapes and forms and sights and sounds? What the fuck was going on? Even as a kid, a sense of unease pervaded my being. As I learned to differentiate between these gentle and somewhat nurturing giants, and to say Mama and Papa, much to the giant's amusement, and as the routine of my daily life took shape and began to give me a simple understanding of what was around me, I also felt as if I was floating in a wet tissue that might tear at any moment. These are the vague flashes of my toddler years from an ever-dimming memory. I don't know if I'm imagining this or not. It's the way I remember it. Maybe my brain likes the sound of it. However, I distinctly remember reading the inspiring story, The Little Engine That Could. It says as much as any self-help book ever written. There was no God there to comfort my fears, and that has always bothered me. If he was going to make himself known, one